Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Discussion item 1. Consider adopting Resolution 2024-21 regarding workplace misconduct complaints against Director Furher. Okay. So we're going to go through this resolution. Before we start, I want to describe how this item will go. First, I will ask General Manager to introduce this item and the draft resolution we'll be considering. Second, I will ask for any clarifying questions from the board. Third, we will have an opportunity for public comment. Those in on Zoom can comment by submitting a speaker card. Those joining us on Zoom, those in the room can comment by filling out a speaker card. Those joining us on Zoom will need to use the raise hand function. Because this is a special meeting, we're entertaining public comment only for agendized items so that will be the comments on this item initially. We'll also allow public comment on items 2 and 3 when we get to them. Fourth, we will have board discussion and hear from Director Furher if he wishes. Willie, please introduce this item.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. I'll go ahead and introduce this item. Supervisors sit on many boards and committees. For most or all of them, you're appointed by the Board of Supervisors and rotate. The agency is different. By state law, under Section 7 of the Agency Act, each supervisor sits on the agency board. So when Yuba voters vote for supervisors, they're also voting for agency directors. The two offices are closely and uniquely related. You are all aware of the Board of Supervisors meeting on December 19th and the decision to take certain measures concerning workplace misconduct complaints against Director Furher. Director Messick called this meeting so this board could consider whether it is appropriate to impose similar measures because the county and the agency share 5 elected representatives. My staff prepared a draft resolution based closely on what the supervisors approved last Thursday. In a few instances, we adopted the actions to fit the agency rather than the county. And I'll provide a summary of where the draft resolution differs from the county's resolution. The supervisors took action regarding Director Furher's eligibility to serve as chair or vice chair in 2025. I understand the county uses a rotation system for the chair position. The agency board does not do this and uses direct election by the board, so this action is not in the draft resolution. Regarding representation of the agency at events, the draft resolution would prohibit Director Furher from representing the agency at events except where legally required by his office or allowed by the chair at his discretion. So no impact on attending agency board and committee meetings. The rest of the measures are essentially the same as the county's resolution. Your evaluation of each other's conduct when you're serving as agency representatives is your role. It is not my role as your staff, and it's not my staff's role. We drafted these measures based on what the county did. That said, the agency takes harassment and discrimination issues seriously, not just because we recognize the liability tied up in doing otherwise, but because everything we do, our fulfillment of our mission, all of it is tied up in showing the best the agency has to offer.
All right, are there any questions from the board before we go to public comment?
Did you specify a time limit on comments?
On public comments?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. So we normally do 3 minutes, correct?
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
You can impose a time limit at your discretion. I think typically we do 3 minutes, but it's yours in managing the comments. Thank you.
All right.
I have a question, Chair. Okay. This is probably an Andrew question. Could you explain with an elected official what the options are for discipline? I mean, obviously the voters can act when they have an opportunity, but what what disciplinary measures are available and what are appropriate?
And Director Bishop, I assume you're discussing what disciplinary measures are available to the board versus the voters?
Yes. Or I guess, or any other authority.
For the board, you really have discretion in fashioning the appropriate measures. Some of the typical measures that other agencies have imposed in situations involving other board member discipline involve things like censure, which is a public reprimand. I've seen removal from committees, ineligibility to serve as an officer on the board, and really other discretionary measures that are appropriate to fit the conduct that you want to change. So they're largely discretionary, but those are the ones that are typical. For other enforcing agencies, it really depends on the type of conduct involved. I think it's hard to answer in a vacuum. But for the board, those are the typical measures. That answer the question?
Yeah, and then just a follow-up question is probably for Willie, but let's see, the exceptions that would be available for the chair, do you have an example of what type of event that might be or why the chair might exercise that, an exception?
Yeah, I can give an example. If there's, so again, Andrew discussed kind of the actions that this board could take are intended to mitigate the behavior they're trying to mitigate, let's say. So let's say there's a conference that's 3 days long and it's out of town, and this board might be concerned of certain behaviors at that conference. But the subject matter of that conference could be discussed at a one-day conference that the chair could attend with the other supervisor or the other director. That might be a circumstance where the chair would say, hey, let's go to this conference together. Let's talk about this initiative together. Let's move agency initiatives together, and let's do this using appropriate behavior. I think that's a kind of generalized situation where the chair could make an exception.
Go ahead, Charlie.
The most I understand about this has been in the Appeal Democrat. And I think I understand that two agencies, the Board of Supervisors, contacted the board and they made the initial complaint. Those agencies aren't things that the water agency has. I also believe, though, that our relationships with the people we associate with are mostly regulatory people, and it's very,
Yeah, I was just going to say, hand it to Gary. He's a tech guy.
The regulatory agencies are extremely critical to us. So, as I understand it, none of the agencies that we as a water agency have made any complaints to us. So we're making the actions solely on the basis of what I read in the paper and the agencies that the Board of Supervisors have. Don't get me wrong, I think it's extremely serious that the agencies that we interact with, we don't want to take any chances at all. So I ask, I guess, we have had no complaints from any of our agencies that are regulatory people.
Director Matthews, thank you. I believe you're referencing the complaint that the county received from CSAC and RCRC. You are correct. The agency has not received a direct complaint from those agencies. We don't participate in those agencies. They are specific to counties, so that's not something that we've received. The basis that's before the board today is the report that the county received. So it's not in relation to any direct complaints to the agency. You're correct on that. I would note, though, that directors do, on behalf of the agency, attend a number of events, sometimes travel for things like Aqua, sometimes local events that are sponsored by the agency. So there are a number of events that directors do typically attend. There are a number of events that directors do typically attend on behalf of the agency.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the directors? Okay, now for public comment. Mandy, do we have any speaker cards for people in the room?
No speaker cards and no virtual public comment either.
All right. Okay, so hearing no further public comment, is there board discussion?
Under board discussion, I would like to say that I think I agree with what Director Bishop is saying. Director Furher's gone through 2 elections by his constituents. I would also note that his constituents and through Director Furher have made tremendous progress in drainage and gutters, and not that we can do sidewalks, but the agency helped with matching funds for many things very positive in his district, and that was because of Director Furher. I'm very concerned about making sure we don't limit his ability to continue doing that, because he has gone through 2 elections. And the way I read the resolution, this is only for 1 year, and the chairman has discretion. Though I'm cautious about doing other agencies' complaint to the Board of Supervisors that we should do it. But it's the utmost importance to us that we do not have a bad relationship with any of our regulated people. So I guess I've had much trouble resolving this in my mind, but I'm willing to go along with the resolution.
Supervisor Furher, you want to make any comments?
Is that a motion?
No. We're not done with comments yet.
I'm not going to read the response since we're not reading off the charges. I would just say that I, of course, disagree. I think that there's a misunderstanding about what constitutes harassment. The things that I have done do not rise to that level. There was no legal liability incurred. So I feel that putting a policy forward that creates a situation where anyone who's ever uncomfortable with anything at any time can file a complaint that causes discipline is a terrible precedent to make.
I have some comments.
Okay.
When I ran for this office, I did not expect to be sitting in judgment or be policing my peers. That was never something I dreamed that would be part of this job. I also didn't realize that, there would have to be so much time and energy and resources spent by our staff and the county staff to police elected officials. And I just think it's a shame that needed to happen, but it did need to happen. Director Furher, I think what you've done is created a slow motion train wreck that's landed in our laps today. And it's a shame that had to happen. You've been through harassment training, apparently it didn't work. And I don't know, I've only been aware of this for a couple of weeks. I don't know all of the order of events and everything that happened. I've read the reports, I've read your response. But when all this was brought to your attention, you've continued to do this morning, your first response was to say that people just don't get your sense of humor. that the incidents that you remember, you were joking. But you've showed this behavior repeatedly. And you went on to accuse others of doing worse things. And then you've been talking about conspiracies against you. And frankly, I don't think any of us elected officials in Yuba County are so important that a bunch of people get together and conspire against us. I don't think any of us have that much power. The most surprising part of this to me is that you have never, and I'm glad that you spoke before I did this morning, you had another opportunity to apologize, to take personal responsibility, and to say that you're going to work on changing your behavior. And you have not done that to my knowledge. We spend a lot of time on this board talking about how we want to make the county a better place. And I know that, Seth, that you feel strongly about that. I've seen you be passionate about projects that will make the county a better place. But what you've done over the past few weeks in the media and at public meetings has done nothing but bring us down. And I think you still have an opportunity to apologize and to promise that you will change your ways. But at this time, I see it as my responsibility, if the chair is ready for a motion, to make a motion to pass this resolution as it's written.
And I will add a comment to it. We have to have, our responsibility as directors is to have a positive workplace. People should not be afraid. And whether you believe it or not, people do have different opinions. This is not a religious item, as you've spoken about. It's not it's about safety, a safe working place for our employees. That if they feel something is wrong, or they want to register a complaint, they won't have the fear of losing their job. And I think that we have to make sure that people who do complain are protected. That's my second. But
Anybody else want to make a comment before we vote?
Yeah, I should probably say a couple things. The biggest thing to me is the fact that this is an elected position, which means that all of the constituents elected Seth to represent them. And the fact is, since things have gone awry, it's a bad reflection on not only the supervisors, but all the county staff, everybody associated with the agency, and the entire county. So it's not like we're disciplining an employee. It's an elected official, and now it's kind of a whole different situation.
I guess I'll add to the comments too. I don't really look at it so much as a discipline as we want to help Seth to represent the water agency better in the public eye and to the employees. So more of a I want to use this as a learning thing for all of us, and see how we can all pitch in and help Seth see that some of his comments are shed a bad light on the water agency. So, and just move forward and do better. Anybody else want to make any comments? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
I think we have to do a roll call vote.
Do we have to do a roll call vote?
Director Vasquez?
yes,
Director Blazier?
Yes.
Director Furher?
No.
Director Messick?
Yes.
Director Bradford?
Yes.
Director Matthews?
Yes.
Director Bishop?
Okay.
Motion passes.
We are now going to go into closed session, and it should be a very short closed session. And then we're going to come back out for item 3. Everybody stand by.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. You've seen signs marking some of the gyms in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net. Sapphire.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
In Yuba County, there's a legendary diner.
Oh, that looks delicious. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Where the parking lot tells a story. A story as simple as biscuits and gravy.
The food is good. The prices are wonderful. My dad has so many friends here that come here, and it's my dad and mom have known Mary Jane and her dad before Duke.
Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, home of legendary chili, holiday pies, and generations of local residents preparing tasty, hearty food for generations of local people. Join Mary Jane and her genial associates as they serve meals you'll come back for. Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, Olivehurst.
In Marysville, where roots run deep, McNally Appliances promises to keep the best brands with a smile on its face. We service what we sell, it's a warm embrace. Competitive pricing you can't ignore. With every purchase you'll love it more. From fridges to washers, all in a line. We install with care to make it shine. Major brands, trusted and true. McNally Appliances is here for you. Oh, Nally McNally, we're your first choice. In Marysville, we help you rejoice. We service what we sell, no need to stress. At McNally Appliances, we're simply the best. Our promise stands, we'll always be here. McNally Appliances, bringing your cheer.
McNally Appliances, 119 D Street, Marysville. McNallyAppliances.com.
Yuba-Sutter alive. It's the truth that comes through. In the morning light, the cameras start to roll. Yuba-Sutter.live. Watch the stories unfold. Tune in on Tuesday, the news comes alive. Yuba-Water Agency, making sure we thrive. Yuba City Council, with Marysville in view. Yuba-Sutter.live. It's the truth that comes through. Tune in on Tuesday, the news comes alive. Yuba-Water Agency, making sure we thrive. Yuba City Council, with Marysville in view. Yuba-Sutter.live. It's the truth that comes through. Yuba-Sutter.live. It's the truth that comes through.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.live, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter.live, we capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter.live, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter.live. Yuba-Sutter.live.
Merry Christmas, Yuba-Sutter.live. You're watching Yuba-Sutter.live, Yuba-Sutter's live streaming channel on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.